Yo, you tuned in to Gorilla Cross Radio.
Broadcasting live from downtown Las Vegas, you're tuned in to Gorilla Cross Radio.
Yo, West Coast Wednesday. What it do? What it do? It's a Wednesday. It's me, Mo. No Mel. We don't know where she is.
She's in quarantine.
She's in quarantine. That's what it is. And it was very nice outside today, too. And
It
she's
was.
in quarantine. But anyway, you're into Girl Chat Sports with Mo and Mel. But this time it's Mo and Dre because I have a guest co-host tonight.
Yeah, what it do?
I'm so excited to have this gentleman on. I just learned a few little factoids about him prior to us starting the show. I have to formally apologize because if you guys had seen some posts me promoting the show, there was a pic of Dre I used, and I utilized it from last night. He wasn't a fan of it, so I had to change it.
No, well, you know.
He's such a diva. I wrote him saying that, and I'm not saying Devo. I guess that's the
Devo.
Devo. Yeah, not Devo. Devo. But anyway, he's here. I'm excited to have him.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. We are also joined by a very special guest. One of my homies. Like, I usually don't get too many of my friends on. I'll get my brothers on. I'll get some, relatives kind of pop through there. But I actually have one of my good homeboys, I'll say. That's the right nomenclature, right? Homeboys, friends. Yeah. My guy from UNLV, he is the PGA Golf Management Program. He's instructor. He's also the assistant director and program coordinator, Mr. Kendall Murphy. Golf aficionado. I'm just going to put that out there.
Can we get a round of applause?
Yeah, we have to because, the guy is all time. And we'll get into that in just a moment. But I want to talk a little bit about some Vegas sports first. And I know you guys are into the Vegas sports. I want to chat about these nights real quick because I have something to vent off my chest.
BGK.
Yeah, and I made a post about it last night, and I'm really, really tight about it. But, guys, if you're out there, if you're watching us live real quick, go ahead and share. Sharing is caring. Give us a shout out. Call us if you'd like. 702-608-3259. That is the number. And let me know what you think about this little thing I want to bring up. So, first and foremost, I want to send my condolences out to one of the season ticket holders, to the family, friends, and the players because they lost a loyal VGK Fortress Hulkamaniac named John Barada. He was known for ripping his T-shirts, and he'd be on the little Quantron, the Nitron. I want to call it Quantron because Quan's a fan too, but the Nitron.
Yeah.
Shout out to Quan over there.
I bet you he wish it was called Quantron.
He probably does. But anyway, he unfortunately passed away this past Monday. Excuse me. And so
Huge fan. He was a huge
BGK they had a seat
fan, man.
dedicated to him. They posted it and everything. So again, prayers and condolences go out to everyone for that. But the Knights did make up for, I feel like they had an angel last night because they won. And I just hear crickets lately from the VGK fans since January when they were all tight and upset about Gallant being let go. And how dare we bring this new coach in that has, aside from the 1st of March when they lost to the Kings, where they won 8 matches straight in a row. And they're number 1 in the Pacific West now.
Well, you know how Vegas fans get.
That's my beef. Vegas fans.
It's ridiculous.
If you do not like, this is the thing. They settle on mediocrity. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm a Lakers fan. I'm a Dodgers fan. I'm a Raiders fan. No judgment, but they have some play like mediocrity, but I'm never satisfied with us not winning. These fans seem to be settled when they're not winning and when their players aren't performing. They all just go for the lights of the show and the entertainment. Is that what we're doing?
I want to be a fair weather fan. Hey, let me tell you something, man.
Tell me about
Vegas.
What's going on?
Fair weather fans is something else, bros. When UNLV Running Rebels was at the top of his game, you could not get a ticket for that place.
That's a case in point. That's a good case in point.
Could not get a ticket.
You could take
now,
it back to,
now you can sit next to the head coach.
Literally. You could be right in the.
You can get in the game sometime. It might just be able to play.
Dude, I walked in. They thought I was Wale and let me in.
Really?
They didn't know that Wale was like 5'5".
But they just assumed.
Yeah, and they just let me in. I was like, wow.
Yeah. And you sat courtside, too. Pretty much.
I sat close.
Pretty much.
The fifth row.
Yeah.
They wanted him to cut his dreads, though, to get in.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That bothers me, too, about Vegas. We're getting the Raiders. We have BGK here.
Right.
At some point, Vegas will be a sports town. We're going to have a baseball team.
Yeah.
And whether my kid, when my son grows to be 43, they may have a basketball team. And with that being said, we can't only support our teams when they're winning, man.
Right.
Look at the Clippers. They've been trash for years.
Right. Look at the Raiders. We've been trash for years, and you can't get no loyal in a Raiders fan, I feel like.
That's very true.
We hang in there.
That's very
because
true.
we look for the hopes of winning. But if you have a born and raised hockey team here that went to the Stanley Cup Finals the first time, didn't make it the past season, but have a chance to go further into the playoffs with a new coach, new goalie that he calls as his starting goalie. Shout out to him, too, because he had 27 saves last night. Shout out. Donuts for everyone. Shout out to him. I think it's Leonard is his name. Robert Leonard.
You give me a
Robin Leonard. Yeah, that's what it is. But he had 27 saves last night. So his strategy, this new coach, is not only Fleury is the starting goalie, but we also have Robin now as the starting goalie. And I'm going to alternate. We're just going to play like that. So this guy is bringing it. One loss from March 1st. They were on an 8-game winning streak.
But how's the attendance? Is there a lot of people?
18,000 last night. 18,000. It's a 17,500 capacity in T-Mobile. 18,000 because they do those standing seats now.
Okay.
They were sold out last night.
I was going to say, you definitely let the fire marshal know that they were out of code.
Well, it was online.
If it's 17.5.
It was online.
Yikes.
It was online.
But they need to holler at their online person.
It was online.
You're allowed to have a standing room.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, but you still, I want to tell my person, hey, stay a little 200 or 300 away from the capacity
so,
piece.
dare I say, it should just been a sold out. It was sold out to capacity. People to the wall.
That's it.
Sports balls to the wall.
That's it. That is it. That's it.
Yeah. So he said he's the type of coach that likes to switch it up. He says, I like to switch it up. I like to just see what we can do. And it's been successful. But crickets from everybody that bashed this guy.
And real quick, the problem with not even the problem, the thing with the Vegas Knights fans is a lot of the fans and a lot of the fans that were complaining about the coach getting fired are fans. This is the first time they've ever been a fan of a team where they've invested themselves into a team. So they take it a lot more personal than maybe we all do, knowing that a coach could be there and do great for 5 years in a row and then have one bad year and be gone. So
to your point,
this is this new fan base getting to know like the sports business side of ice hockey and professional sports in Vegas.
Yeah, you make a great point with that. I was going to touch on that too, that you have people that have this is their first involvement of actually having a pro team they can get behind. A lot of women, if you will. They don't follow basketball. They don't follow any of the other sports. So they probably were like not very reactive. And I know some of them were. Shout out to that VGK ladies group. I have to put them on blast. But, you have fans that, express concern because they just don't. They don't know. They don't know.
And they're not used to
that.
Having a team.
Right.
But if you support your local teams before VGK even got here, whether you were a hockey or baseball or basketball, whatever, go just support your local sports.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Learn how to get behind a team.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, we've got our other local team, USL Soccer, the Lights. They start their first season opener this Saturday. It's going to be a road game, though.
I haven't made it out to a game yet.
You've got to go.
They're playing
that. You got to go. They're playing this new franchise expansion team, San Diego Loyal.
Okay.
So that'll going to be their first road game, and then they play. They have a home game of the season opener March 14th against Sacramento. But they're also doing something that's pretty dope. Every home match, and I'm just going to hold up my jersey real quick.
Oh, here we go.
This is my one signed by Tommy Olson. Shout out to Tommy Olson, goalkeeper for the Lights. Every home game, they're going to change their jerseys. So they had a contest where people could design the jerseys for the team.
Oh, that's dope.
And they're going to wear each specific different jersey. Now they're still taking design options, so you can still go on to the Lights FC website, get a jersey design, because now they've rolled out a program because they're going to have a midnight game July 11th. It actually starts at 11. So I won't say midnight. Their halftime will probably be at midnight, but there's going to be a show there. But they're playing the Reno FC team, and they want a jersey design that's something mean and harsh to Reno. So get out there, get your pen and paper ready, figure out something.
What's the incentive? Are they giving away a couple of tickets?
I know season ticket members are receiving like their free home jersey.
Okay.
The rest of the jerseys that they're going to do for the home season, all those different jerseys, are $99.
Yeah.
So if you're not a season ticket holder, you'll have to pay the $99.
Cause that's pretty huge to design.
Oh, yeah.
Something.
And get that kind of credit for it. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Interesting.
So I feel like, it's going to be interesting. We got the Lights. They just signed an El Salvadorian player, Junior Burgos. So welcome to that. They also signed another goalkeeper. Welcome as well. And WNBA. Let's get into it with the Aces. Have you been at an Aces game yet, Kendall?
I have, unfortunately.
That is terrible.
I've been courtside.
You've been courtside at Aces game.
So as Melissa, I've seen her courtside, media, and I'm like,
Yeah,
wait a
we
minute.
both have.
All
We
right, I'm
both
like,
did.
yeah, I'm like, okay, I see
Of course,
you.
we love our Aces.
I see you.
We're there.
But
We're
when
all about it.
when Goose and I went and we sat courtside, I said I don't want to sit in any other seat from now on. So I'm spoiled, jaded, whatever type
So
of word
you have
want
to
to
reach
use.
out and get media or something, or just pay that ticket. 'Cause
I'm
it's
just
not
gonna
too
pay.
much.
I'm
It's
not worried
too
about.
much.
I'm not worried about
honestly,
paying for the ticket.
all right,
We want
baller.
to support. Well, it ain't balling. It's just supporting your local team,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And so I think that's one thing that we do a lot, too much, is looking for a hookup. I don't need a hookup, man. Just tell me how much the tickets are. I got you,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna support the team.
for sure. So they re-signed Lindsey Allen, who didn't play last season.
Yeah.
So that's a new move.
Right.
And then they've got Liz Cambage still not signed yet. She's free agent. She hasn't been signed.
Well, that's because she's still arguing about fouls from last year.
Oh, is that what it is? You're
Yikes.
just in there? Wow.
We need to
Really?
though. I think we need that presence. We
Really?
need that presence in the middle, and
We do.
she makes a difference. I mean,
So they've already spent $848,000 of their salary cap. I think they were budgeted $1.2 million. So there's still some wiggle room around to get her.
can't-
Ty Young hasn't been signed yet
No.
either. She's restricted free agent. So 33 years old, she might be calling it. I mean, I follow her on the gram. Ty Young, if you're out there, let us know.
she does a lot of modeling, and
She does.
and she's really fly with her kicks and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure that
she's gonna be all right.
after WNBA,
Oh, she's
she
gonna be
definitely,
straight.
most definitely,
She's going to be straight.
most definitely.
So shout out to the LV Aces fan page, because they had posted their salaries for the upcoming 2021 season. Asia Wilson is $57,000, I believe.
You know,
And a couple of them are.
I can't
Kelsey
wait.
Plum, 68.
I know they made huge strides
Right.
and steps towards getting to this point, but I can't wait to where the salary cap is a little higher.
Well, it is if you play a tenure. Like some of them are six figures that are on the team. You've got a few.
Yeah,
that are
but
the
I'm
six
talking
figures.
about like maybe 20 or 30,
Oh yeah, I get it.
right?
I get it.
And some of these, women can actually reap the benefits of what they've been working so hard for. They work just as hard as men do. Like they have AAU,
Absolutely.
junior summer NBA junior summer league for women, and they go just as hard.
They do. But here's the deal:
It's
the
fan.
league.
Yeah.
They don't have any money. They have not been in the black yet. Our team alone has lost $4 million just last season.
Well, maybe some of these NBA players or some of these NBA teams need to say, you know what? Since Kobe Bryant was so really big into
Yes.
the WNBA and women's basketball,
do something.
Maybe do something in his honor to where each NBA player who wants to donate to that Kobe Bryant WNBA fund can put maybe $1.5 million away of your salary for that year to help women's basketball. Let's be honest. His daughter had really
Gianna was in it,
had dreams of playing in the WNBA, and so if you want to honor somebody in a greater way, why not something like that?
Hey,
No, not if you donate. If
Exactly.
I'm a millionaire, I can donate
but
to
here's
whatever,
the other thing
whoever.
too. This is just the monetary. The benefits exceed that because of the new collective bargaining agreement, where
Right.
they are getting like their benefits and that kind of thing. So this is just straight on the salary.
Right.
But I love it. So we also have another friend of mine popping in. I'm just feeling the love of my guys showing up for me since Mel is quarantined out there. Shout out to Mel, Queen of the Pacific Northwest. My boy D is here, so and he did me a solid by he's from Chicago.
Okay.
So he put on the Chicago Bulls, and it's green and stuff for Mel. I mean, that was nice of you. You know, I prefer the purple and gold, but you know, I'm not gonna be mad. I'm not gonna be mad.
This is really for the pine green Jordan 1s that just came out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the ones that were just sold out all over the place. I get it.
But you can get them on the GOAT.
Yeah,
you can get them on the
extra,
GOAT.
Yeah.
If you got them young chip daddies.
Yeah, and I saw him. No lie,
I got the raffle. I got the raffle on him, so I got.
Okay.
Stop being stretching your plug. Like he showed them off to me too. He got them, and then he was like, "Tell your nephew you don't need to get it from him."
And you looked at them. Yeah.
I did look at them. They're pretty. Nordstrom had them. Sold out. Didn't know.
Really?
Because I could have got my discount.
Yeah, and you could have told me.
And I could have told a few other people, but I didn't know. There's a secret way to get into those when they have those exclusive. Like we sell Yeezys too, and there's a way. I just don't. I have to crack the code. I just realized that. But I digress. I want to get into our guest.
Yes.
Just a little bit, Mr. Kendall Murphy. How we doing over there?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. So I want you to just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're originally from, what migrated you to Vegas. What got you into the position you're in right now? That's a lot. I know. Just give us the cliff notes. You don't have to go full resume.
No, I'll give you the 30,000-foot view of it all. Born and raised Oakland, California.
Oakland? You a Raiders fan?
Born and raised a Raiders fan. Born and raised
yes,
Warriors
that's what I'm talking
fan.
about.
Born and raised an Oakland A's fan, a San Jose Sharks fan. I'm a Bay Area guy.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a sad day when the Raiders started to come to Vegas, but it's all.
Are you going to be a fan?
I will always be.
That's a little bit of hesitation right there.
I will be a fan of the players. The ownership I'm not so happy with, but I'll be a fan of the players.
They still Oakland.
They're still the Raiders.
They
still Oakland.
It's Oakland to me.
And
then LA still thinks they LA.
That's what it is. They're a California team.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. So born and raised, moved out here in 2008 to go to undergrad at UNLV. Graduated, all that good stuff. Moved to Colorado for a few years. Ran the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs.
So you were into golf prior, like during your college tenure. Then that's where you got the love of it, or you were always liking golf.
Yeah, no, I got into golf when I was 12 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom put me into it when I was 12 years old.
Wow.
And
shouts out to moms.
Fell in love with it from there. We realized that that's a quick way to get a scholarship to college.
Wow.
You know, when you get decent at it. So got pretty decent at it. Wound up getting me to college. That was a blessing. Spent a half a year at Hampton University.
Shout out to the HBCU.
Shout out to my HBCU.
Yeah.
The Pirates out
the
there.
Real, Virginia, right?
The real HU. Yeah.
The real. Hold on.
Hampton University.
You took it right on. I was about to say the real HU because Howard University
is
and
not
Hampton.
they
but they
rivals
got
on that. They have a beef with that.
Huge
There's
rivalry.
a huge rival on that.
Hampton
DJ Emmy will go in about the first one. I get it. I know it.
They are the first.
Yeah, they go into it.
We don't even know what's going on in D.C.
That's dope. That's dope.
We'll say what's happening in Virginia right now. Then transferred out here to UNLV, did all that good stuff. Got into golf, stayed in the golf industry, running golf courses and all that kind of stuff. Went to work for the PGA of America, which is, if you don't know, that's the governing body of golf.
Okay.
Okay.
So I went and worked for them, doing some financial stuff, helping different people make more money for their golf courses, and just trying to help people out in that capacity. Got the call from UNLV in 2012 to come back to the university to start teaching and paying it all forward again. And you know, that was my calling, was to teach and be an educator. So couldn't turn down that phone call I got from the directors and the dean of the college.
Dope.
And what is that we're teaching over at UNLV? What's the course entitled?
So right now I'm the assistant director, program coordinator for the PGA Golf Management University program, which is within the Hospitality College at UNLV, which, let me throw a famous plug out to hospitality. We're the second year in a row, the Hospitality College at UNLV is the #1 program in the country and the #2 program in the world for what we do in hospitality.
Right.
So it's a definite honor to be within that group of colleagues in that environment. So I teach within that environment. I teach golf classes, or the management side of golf, how to run golf courses. biomechanics, kinesiology type classes, which is how the body moves and that kind of stuff like that. And then I also dive into some of the hospitality stuff too. Facilities management, which is like basic engineering class, how to turn lights on, that kind of stuff. How to help you run your hotel, basically.
I love it. And you were just recognized and awarded for the 2019 PGA Professional of the Year of Southern Nevada chapter of the Southwest Section PGA.
Yeah, for the second year in a row, actually.
Second year in a row. I do have that. That is amazing. And in the past, you were the 2018 Rebel Pride Golf Professional of the Year.
That's basically the
That's
alumni.
the black excellence.
That's
Like, this is
alumni.
just the dopest thing. I have to clap because...
That is, bros, because I never even knew that that type of program even existed at UNLV. And these are the type of things that, like, you're an unsung hero here in Las Vegas. And so these are the type of things that Vegas really needs to stand behind. So that's dope, bros. That's super dope.
No, I definitely tell you.
How many brothers is doing what you're doing?
In my type of role, 0. I'm the only one. But, you know, one of the main things that drives me is diversity and inclusion. I'm sure we'll dive into that later on.
Yeah,
but
we're gonna talk about
one of the main things that drives me is diversity and inclusion and growing the game and making it easier than it was for my path to get to where I am. So I'm actively out there in the communities and talking to different individuals and different junior golf tours, trying to get the next best thing to be able to run golf facilities or to come back and teach at a university or do that kind of stuff. I mean, there's plenty of African Americans, just speaking of African Americans, that are in the PGA of America that are doing good things. But there can be so many more of us that are recognized and that are being able to get these top level jobs at different country clubs around the country that may or may not be looking at. So, you know, my goal is to use my platform that I have. I'm blessed to be able to speak to the CEO of the PGA of America, be able to speak to different CEOs of different companies, whether it be American Express or whatever it is, and speak to them candidly. So I use that platform to make sure I lift up everybody else. And, you know, it's not about me. It's about the next generation and us making sure that we can have somebody to take care of us and to tell our stories.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well,
you mentioned the country clubs. Now, isn't that like one of those things that's hard for us to get into?
Yeah, we were going to
around the
talk about
country?
that. We were going to talk about the diversity and inclusion of like minorities, and we were talking earlier before the show started as far as how certain country clubs, like the famous Augusta, where the Masters is always pretty much held, how African Americans were not allowed to be members of the club until it was recognized in 1990. And Kendall was mentioning how it could have been previous to that, but there's disclosure kind of things that we may not have known. But we do know that Condoleezza Rice was the first female allowed membership at Augusta in 2012.
Yeah, full
well, look at
full membership.
Yeah, look at a company that Condoleezza Rice had during the time.
Still, but 2012 for women to be members of this.
But the company.
Yeah, I got you.
You know, she's been around, you know, presidents.
Right.
And, you know, when you can put a president on your resume, let's just be honest. Like, you could put a real life living president on your resume and they actually vouch for you.
But how many other corporate women are vetted women that can get vetted to be in prior to that? Like you had even
That's true.
You even had professional women golfer players and they couldn't be members of. Really? Like, I just found that very strange. Yeah. Now, you've played at several courses in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Shadow Creek.
Oh, yeah.
Legends.
All of them.
Mooney.
Yeah. All of them. Yeah.
Lakes. Angel Park.
You name it, I played it, yeah.
So what's your favorite one?
Shadow Creek, sure.
Shadow Creek is the best one.
Hands down, Shadow Creek.
Okay.
And, you know, my story on Shadow Creek is probably interesting because of the company I'm able to keep at Shadow Creek. That's one of the facilities where I'm able to go out there and play with other brothers that look like me. You know, like the Michael Jordans, like the Scottie Pippens, these guys that come into town, and they're able to bring me out to the facility and play with them. So, you know, selfishly, I love it because just the company I can keep.
Yeah,
you know, out there. I'm having a great time, and we're isolated from the world when we're out there.
Is this the one off of Losi?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't even see it.
And then they have a Paiute one. I've seen that Paiute golf.
Paiute's out there.
That's kind of out there. Yeah, north. Yeah.
Paiute's north.
But Shadow Creek is your one.
Shadow Creek is my one. It's my one. It'll probably go Shadow Creek, Southern Highlands Golf Club, number 2, and then probably trying to keep it. Probably go to Cascada. You know, be number 3 for me. So I pretty much hit every single corner Vegas.
Does Jordan still do his tournament up there? Shadow?
That tournament got shifted. The tournament still happens, but now it's Derek Jeter's. So it's still Jordan Brand.
Okay.
Because Jeter's still one of Jordan's
Yeah,
athletes.
for sure.
But Jordan took his name away, his likeness away from it, and he shifted that to Derek Jeter. So it's still run by a Jordan Foundation, but it's Jeter's name on. So it's a Derek Jeter Invitational now.
Nice.
Let me ask you a myth question about that Michael Jordan. I've heard that he has a golf cart that has music on it that is so loud that they had to tell him, you got to turn it down a little bit, G. Is that true? Can you answer that?
What I would say is that
that's enough for me if you know that.
He does have a private golf cart out there.
Okay.
That is customized for Michael Jordan, and when he's on property.
Okay. That answers it.
Right there.
That answers
it's
it.
so dope to me. I'm sorry.
Got Jumpman all over it.
It is. It's baby blue.
You know what I'm saying?
Carolina blue?
It's Carolina
Heels.
blue with 23 on the side and Jordan logo on the front.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
well,
what's up.
you know he there though. You know he's on
Yeah.
property.
And
you
is
know
it-
when Michael Jordan's on property.
And
And it's
Everyone
totally
knows.
exclusive to, like, no other members can play when he plays, or how's that rule work when he's there?
No, he won't.
Okay.
He won't buy. Jordan doesn't mind. That course is so exclusive that if they get 12 people playing a day, that's a good number.
That's
Okay.
dope.
So it doesn't really. When Jordan shows up and comes through the gate, they know when he's there. His caddy comes out. They have everything ready for him. They have the meal he wants, the cocktail he wants, the cigars are ready for him. It's just
It's already set
it's
up,
all
it's
ready
already
to go.
booked.
So no, he doesn't mind playing around other people. That's not a. None of those guys and gals are really like that. To where they don't want to be around people, especially when that's why they go to places like that, because the people that are around aren't gonna bother them.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
We're gonna say hi and what's up and keep it moving. We're not gonna celebritize them basically.
So when there's tournaments and like golf classic events and stuff where they have the celebrity appearances, that is also one of those things where they're not as agitated as much. Or,
So like with every PGA Tour event, you're gonna have a pro-am, which is basically where you have a PGA Tour pro playing with 3 other individuals that may have spent a lot of money to play with that individual. When those players are playing, and especially like in a celebrity event like the one in Tahoe, when they're playing out there, they know they're signing up. They're signing up to be celebritized. They're signing up for people to come at them and cheer for them and say hi to them. And so that's a different scenario. When you go to a facility where you're trying to be, incognito, basically.
Yeah.
You go to these facilities that have these gates that won't open unless, you give them social security numbers.
Yikes.
They know what they're getting. That's why they pay the money to be there.
Let me ask you this question. How are you being perceived? And we'll take it back to UNLV. How are you being perceived at UNLV being black, politically correct, African American? How are you being perceived on campus and from your colleagues?
That's a great question. That is a great question. Because that goes into the whole segue of the inclusion and everything of you being the only person sometimes
Well,
in the
if you-
room. Or
yeah.
most of the time in the room.
9 out of 10 times, only one in the room.
Yeah.
And if it's more, it's one. And if it's more than that, we've coordinated it to make it more than that. I would say,
And we're in 2020
Are you
now.
perceived as a token? That's what I need to know.
I've never been told that I was.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, obviously, I'd be naive to think that's not maybe the reality for some scenarios, or some people. I do like to make sure that I'm very careful with the events that I place my name on and the things that I am asked to do to make sure that it's not just a token scenario for me.
Right.
But that's taken time. In the beginning of my career, I would say, I was probably used a lot just for my likeness, for sure.
Right.
But selfishly, that probably helped me to grow in my career too a lot faster than other people.
Nice.
So it was a give and take. I probably said I probably gave up a little bit to the devil a little bit.
I think we all kind of do to a certain
but
degree.
then once I got to where I'm at, now I'm able to give it all back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm able to use the platform now for good. But I would definitely say that now in 2020, and me being in my 8th year at the university and my 12th year being a PGA professional, that people know if I'm at an event or I'm supporting something, it's a worthy cause and it's worthwhile for being there. But it's definitely a benefit to have me around for sure, especially talking about diversity.
Yeah.
If I'm not in the room for diversity, it might not be a good place for someone else to be that is diverse.
And we got to start somewhere. And you could rest assured that when it's all said and done, you will be labeled as a forefather.
Oh, absolutely.
A person who actually laid down the groundwork and actually made that walk for us before we were able to make that walk for ourselves. So personally, I give you kudos. I think it's super dope. And I'm not, here to diminish anything that you do. I'm here to let you know that we need you.
Yes, we do.
What is that conversation like in that room? In these meetings and stuff?
They can get intense. Like for example, I had a meeting this morning with a member of the chief diversities or chief people officers staff, the PGA of America today, about some diverse initiatives at the PGA of America, which is 29,000 members across the world that they represent. And we had some very candid conversation about the way some things were being handled and the way scholarships were being handed out. And we just made sure that everybody's on the same page. So I'm the kind of person that I've built a good relationship with everybody to where they know that I'm never going to be disrespectful. I'm always going to be humble. I'm always going to listen, but I have zero problem putting my opinion out there. Nice. And I have zero problem backing it up with facts. If I say it, I probably have a fact to back it up. And if I don't say it, I don't have a fact to back it up, but I'll find the fact later on.
Well, it sounds like you're respected by that too.
It is.
That you've reached that 8 years here. You've reached that level where they're like, well, we've got mad respect for Kendall. So it's not like we're not going to treat him a certain way or dismiss what his claims are or whatever he's saying.
Right.
You know your stuff.
Situation where you might get a little pushback on something that you might throw out there.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I get pushed. I mean, there's pushback. There's give and take with life on everything like that. But yeah, I mean, there's certain times to where I may say, hey, I want to do it this way. This is what my community really wants. And they'll say, okay, well, that's great. But we need to look at it from, other communities' perspectives too. I'm like, okay, you're right. We do. Let me look at brown. Let me look at yellow. Let me look at everybody else. Let me look at LGBTQ. Let me look at all the communities that we have. Sometimes I get stuck in my mind of just dealing with my community, and I have to realize, okay, let's look outward.
It's about everybody.
And that's why there's people smarter than me in the room to reel me back in sometimes. And back on the point that you were making, Dre, about I can definitely say that I stand on the shoulders of many men and women that came before me that literally laid down their lives to make sure that I have the ability to do what I'm doing right now. From the Lee Elders, even from Tiger to to Charlie Silford, to all these gentlemen, Renee Powell, and to her father, Mr. Powell. These are the individuals that literally made it to where I could even become a PGA professional. And go to college and play golf, and to be able to stand in front of the chief executive officers and these leaders in the business world. So, like I said, I'm trying to create the next generation behind me, so they can tell my story, like I can tell the story of the individuals that got me to where I am. But that's the part that makes me excited, to look back and say, man, that's where they were. That's dope. This is where we are now. Yeah. I can only imagine where we can be.
Well, you mentioned it at the very beginning. You mentioned it at the beginning, not to cut you off, I'm sorry. That your mission was to give back and to continue giving back and to see others that look like you or myself or any of us in the room to be able to be in the position that you're in, or also be playing as well as they do on these elite courses and that.
For sure.
And what kind of good golf tips do you have? Because my dad is a golfer. Shout out to Dad, because I know he's watching.
Shout out
Dre.
to Pops.
Yeah. I'm playing with it a little bit.
Yeah.
I stay on the
tinker with it.
It's like a Rose Ranch.
It's so fun, bro.
I had clubs that I got, and I sold them at a yard sale. I do not golf like I should.
Go back to that same yard sale.
No, it's too late. They're gone. They're a women's set. They were great. I just never got a chance to play because it's one of those things you have to play a lot. You have to be on. I mean, you have to you have to be
in order to be good.
Yes.
but I think going out there, once every 30 to 45 days or something like that, as just getting together and just going out there and getting some practice in and maybe hitting the driving range and things. That type of stuff to me.
I mean, that's top golf. That's top golf,
loaded.
Dre. That's top golf, and I'm terrible at it.
No,
not at the course.
No, not at the course. I'm just being funny. I'm saying I'm top golf with it. I
It's
put my dad out there at top golf. He embarrassed us all.
Well, you got to get a good tee time. I'm pretty sure he'll tell you that too.
And they're early. They're super early in the morning, and it's like, especially with the summers, you have to get out there super mad early because that heat comes in.
Be out there about, at least over there where I'm at. Be out there about 5 a.m.
Yeah, because the hours are long depending on the course holes, But what tips do you have for our beginning golfers, our pros? Because you do give a lot of tips out there, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And have you given some to professional players as well? Like anybody that we know or would recognize?
No one you know that.
Okay. But they are professionals.
Yeah, no. I mean, I've gotten tips from cats like Tiger and these guys on tour like that when I was growing up. But I would say, in our reality with golf, I mean, it's one of those things to where the number one tip is to find your local or your closest PGA professional and work with them on your golf game because we can try to teach ourselves through YouTube or through watching TV or through reading an article. But in reality, the reason why I train individuals that I do in my university to be able to go out and teach is so that we can make all y'all's games better. So with that being in mind, that's the number one tip right there, is just find your local PGA professional and get some lessons from them. After that, when you're working on your own game, it's very simple. It's three main things. The only thing that matters in golf is your grip, your stance, and your posture. Mm-hmm. If you hold the club properly, you'll be okay. Mm-hmm. If you stand correctly over the ball, you'll be okay. And if your stance, meaning how wide your feet are from each other, or not wide from each other, you'll be okay too. And at that point, it's just having fun with the golf ball.
Well, what about your swing? Because Charles Barkley has a problem with that.
Oh wow!
Well, that's only on TV. Charles' swing really isn't that bad in real life. Which is kind of funny. It's actually the exact opposite. It's actually not bad. For some reason, when he gets on TV, which is weird, 'cause he's been on TV for so many years doing NBA on TNT, but it's not bad. He just gets in his mind and starts thinking about stuff and starts getting a little jittery with it. But that's not the norm. The normal golf swing that I recommend is just what I like to call a fluid swing, where it's just a motion to where it's all you're doing is going straight back and straight forward. No different if you were to swing a hammer. You're not going to move a hammer all around.
What about baseball? Is it kind of similar?
Closer to tennis.
Oh,
it's closer to tennis. If you had
speaking to the mic, D, because you're too far away.
If you had
closer to that mic, we can't
if you were
hear
trying to hit a forehand or even a backhand shot, those are more similar to an actual golf motion because it's actually allowing you to open up your hips a little bit more. But baseball can be, I mean, a lot of baseball players tend to be pretty good golfers. Really, the sport that really goes hand in hand is hockey. Yeah. I've found that a ton of hockey players are really, really good golfers, and a lot of the Vegas Knights that are here now, pretty much, well, all the ones that knew they were gonna stick around for a long time, have bought memberships at different clubs, whether it be Southern Highlands or TPC Summerlin, that kind of stuff. Like Mark Stone, those guys are. So they're playing golf, But that hockey motion really correlates well to a golf swing. It's almost like seamless in reality. A slap shot is very close to what a golf swing is.
That more or less hand-eye coordination too.
Exactly, hand-eye coordination is key. And just patience. The one
that's
sport.
The thing.
It's the most humbling. I love this game. It's the most humbling game in the world, to where you can be, the ball's not going anywhere. The ball's sitting right there in front of you. You see it, and somehow you can miss it. It's a humbling sport.
I didn't know until I got out there. It was cool. It was real peaceful out there. It was a great experience when I went out there. I was feeling. I ain't expect to have that good of a time when I went.
Oh no, it's fun.
Oh, it's fun. It is fun.
But when you have a person behind you that's pretty competitive, sometimes you got to keep it moving.
Yeah.
They ain't got time for you to be looking for your ball.
I learned the hard way.
They ain't got time to be doing all that, bros. You got to keep it moving. And sometimes let's just go. Let's just actually skip the next hole, and so we can get a little.
So who's the best professional player outside of not being a professional golfer that has the best form, that the most admired? If it's a basketball player that you've seen play golf, who's the best one?
Curry.
Steph Curry is the best.
That's hands down. Steph.
Hands down.
I have no question.
That good?
It'll go Steph then Ray Allen.
Yeah,
Andre Iguodala is a player too.
Biggie's good, but you said form.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, best form.
You said
So
form. You said form.
Okay, who's the best that you've seen?
Steph's still the best. You know.
That you've seen out that has a great
Steph
game.
has talent.
And then Jesus number 2. Yikes.
Shut up.
You got those Jesus out there.
Steph had the show for the golf.
He had a golf show?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
He had a
know.
show.
Jerry Rice is really good too.
Okay.
Jerry Rice has actually played in the at the time it's the web.com event that was held in Hayward, California, which is at TPC Stonebray out there. It was called, I think at that time it was the Alperson. He qualified to play in that event. And Steph constantly plays in the celebrity event in Reno or Tahoe every year up at Edgewood. But Steph probably hands down best looking golf swing of somebody outside of golf, but also talent wise, he's really good at that. He's really good at golf. And he plays all the time. Iguodala is talented too, plays a lot. Jerry Rice plays a ton, really good at golf as well. It's amazing like these high competitive athletes that make it to the pinnacle of their careers in their field. When they transfer that over, even Tony Romo, for example, when they transfer that over, they're able to really do that. Shout out to Tony Romo getting $17 million.
He does everything better than football.
Yeah, exactly. $17 million. We were going to talk about it when we get to my NFL segment.
Before we move on,
Guaranteed.
Steph Curry show was Holy Moly on ABC.
Oh, Holy Moly. I think I did see that on his Instagram. Holy Moly. Yeah, guaranteed.
And he ain't got to go through concussion protocol to get there.
Nothing. He's sitting there being a broadcaster. Isn't that crazy?
$17 million.
So Girl Chat Sports, Mo and Mel, actually Mo and Dre, Juan D, Kendall. Give us a call, 702-608-3259. Thanks for tuning in and checking us out. Please keep sharing. Kendall Murphy, thank you so much because this was very insightful. And it's been a minute that we haven't, we've mentioned it and you've always said, Mo, you haven't had me on the show. And we need to get you on the show. And this was a perfect time.
It was. It worked out
glad
great.
I was here.
Really.
Yes. It worked out great. Absolutely, man.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you what the shades is all about. What's going on?
Real quick, I just put in the chat that he had LASIK, so don't spoil the excuse I gave.
Okay. All right. We're going to roll with the LASIK
Oh, okay.
We're going to roll with the LASIK
I mean, unfortunately, I have a sensitivity to light. So I like that. I usually, even when I'm driving at night, I have my shades on because of headlights and stuff like that. I was recently, unfortunately, in a car accident. So,
I'm sorry.
Okay.
The lights is really,
And the lights are bright.
Why we got to question the man's shades? I mean, we don't give Stevie Wonder any issues.
She always see me out with my shades.
I always see him with his shades. It's just me being, me being petty, messy. Yeah.
Hey,
go ahead.
I want to share this story with you, just real quick, man. It's really, really quick. I went golfing with a friend of mine. He's in his 50s. He's a white guy from Connecticut, and we've been friends a long time. And he said, "Hey, man, I'm coming to Vegas. Let's go golfing." So I'm not going to mention the course, but we went golfing. And I've been golfing before with an NFL buddy of mine and his dad, and we go all the time. And so that's how I know about certain etiquette, and it's just different. It's just different type of etiquette. But I didn't know that they get that loaded out there sometimes. People who are doing it as a, just a hobby. Got money to burn, whatever. And so we had a great time. We had a couple people who were really competitive that was following us. So I remember having to skip 2 holes that I really wanted to play at because they were just catching up, and they, it's just one of them things. And right when we were done, we turn our carts in, they grab our stuff, and he said, "I have to use the restroom really quick." And we go inside of the clubhouse. And so I'm sitting at the bar, and I'm waiting for him as he's coming out of the restroom. And this is the truest thing I'm ever say, man. That had to be, it ranks up there, it's top 5 as one of the most uncomfortable wait in the place. I was probably in there 6-7 minutes, but the uncomfortableness that I felt sitting there, the tension, you can cut it with a knife, bros. It was like everybody was looking at me like, why is he in here? I promise you, bros. I never felt that before. And when he came out, he's like, you want to have a drink? I was like, nah, let's just leave. We good. But I never felt that before. It's 2 years ago.
That's crazy.
Here
I had a
in
similar experience after I finished golfing, but I was cool. I was G. But the guy went to the restroom, and I was just in there solo, and he came back like, you want to have a drink? I was like, let's go ahead. But stuff like I'm a very diverse cat, so it didn't really bother me too much.
Yeah, I've never had that problem.
Well, I'm pretty sure you haven't. Especially with the CIA jacket you got on today. I mean, what I'm saying is,
how dare you?
He ready to snitch on somebody right now. Get him, Cool Blue.
Oh,
I'm
man.
in the blue, man.
Listen, shout out to Vance Horn who made those great memes of Quan Takashi 6'9" for us.
Yeah, but I felt a certain type of way, man, and I just was like, wow.
Yeah.
I will say that that story right there is actually one of my driving forces for making sure that the PGA of America, which is the organization that I represent, which is, like I said, again, 29,000 members, looks like America. Because I can tell you right now, the individuals that are making decisions on how golf is going to be perceived for the next 20 years do not necessarily look like the individuals that are at this table right now.
Right.
And those stories aren't known, right? So it takes individuals like myself and us at this table to be able to tell those stories. And it's unfortunate that in 2018, 2017, 2019, 2020 even, individuals can have that feeling. Now, I will tell you, though, that I have had similar situations like that myself. And it's happened. It hasn't happened very recently, but it has happened. And, I was in the Deep South when it happened. And
Real quick, Kendall, I'm so sorry. We got a caller.
Oh.
Caller. Holla. Girl Chat Sports.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, my gosh. Hang up the phone, Quan.
They gave you a phone in quarantine?
Quarantine,
Good
yes.
Lord.
Shout out to Melissa Ferris on the line. my other half of
What's
Girl
up,
Chat
Mel?
Sports.
Now, we don't know how this is spread, so I'm not sure if you can get it over the phone.
Ooh.
Through phone lines, really, Quan. I'm going to bring all of the coronavirus to you, basically.
Actually, you're going to be quarantined in the studio for the next few weeks. We said that. If that happens to be the case.
You're off for March.
Yeah.
I'll be telecommuting. Wonderful.
So what's up? How's it going up there?
I'm missing this show, though. It's good, actually. But I'm bummed. I know we've been trying to get Kendall Murphy on forever.
Yes, we have.
He comes on the day that I'm not going to be there.
Yeah,
so,
but we'll get him back again.
Coincidence or no?
Yeah, shout out to Dre and shout out to D and his glasses. I appreciate the Chicago Bulls shirt. That for sure is money all the way.
Yeah, he wanted to represent for you. See, we still showing you some love.
His glasses got a shout out.
My glasses.
The glasses are an attention getter. Yeah,
Thank you.
The glasses are an attention getter.
It's your own entity. They have their own entity.
It is.
I thought it might have been the grill, the hair. I am AKA I am the Golden Lord. Remember Media Man?
Okay.
Lord.
I thought Kyle Kuzma was one of the junior lords.
No, I'm not a baby. They were baby lords. They were baby lords.
So Kyle Kuzma's a baby lord?
I'm a golden lord.
Because his hair right now is quite blonde, too. Kyle Kuzma.
No, actually.
He was a baby lord.
He died back?
He died
back? Okay.
Yeah.
But he was a baby lord.
Yeah, yesterday.
He was a baby lord.
Okay.
So shout out to Kyle
Okay.
Kuzma for getting rid of that nasty hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't fall out of his head.
Well,
It was so
anyways.
blonde.
They were going to waive him if he didn't change his hair color.
Oh.
I'm just playing.
No, I knew that wasn't right. So, Mel, tell me about this $4.99 a pound on Dungeness crab.
Listen, y'all, I just left QFC, which is like the same as like the Smiths out there, 'cause it's all Kroger. but they had $4.99 a pound Dungeness crab. You know, my crab addiction is in heaven right now. I left with 4 pounds. I may have to go back tomorrow and get more.
Nice.
Is there
Like
a way
4
that
pounds
can be
for $20?
Can that be
nice.
shipped by chance? Because you're going to be gone for a minute.
It can be shipped.
Can we have
On
that
ice.
deal on ice? Like, can we pack
The
it?
dry ice.
If it doesn't get coronized, you can put some
Right.
Coronas in there though, like the beers. That might kill
Yeah,
it.
they're not
Some
shipping
lime and
anything
that.
from Washington
No,
right
they're
now.
not. Yeah, Washington's on lockdown. So you said the news has you kind of freaked out a little bit too, and I need you to calm down as well.
Listen, the news out here is so different than Vegas. Like, my whole thing is, no one should be going to like buy 10, crates of water and every single, Clorox wipe you can get. But they should at least know what's happening. And I feel like other cities, maybe that aren't as affected by it as Seattle, aren't getting the same information as they're getting here. Like, I've learned so much just from being here and watching the news in the last 24 hours than I knew just being in Vegas.
Yikes.
Well,
Fill us
it's
in. What did you
localized.
find out?
They got you all. They got you really like all on some stuff.
Yeah, what did
there.
you find out that we don't know?
I mean, like, people don't realize, like, it's not even an airborne thing. Like, you're not going to, like, people wear these masks. It's not going to help you because it's not airborne. It's when you're touching stuff that where somebody could have coughed on or sneezed on maybe like, 7 days ago or a week ago, and you touched it, and now you put your fingers on your face somewhere, and now you're going to be able to get it that way.
So that could be
okay.
packages
That could
that's
be-
sent from overseas that somebody could just be touched that was 7 days ago. Basically, is what you're saying.
And everything's made from China.
So
and all these other
Amazon
continents.
is helping spread that in, right?
Ooh, yikes!
Listen, I'm not buying any Amazon stuff right now. I'm really not trying to get anything.
But you get
shipped
mail,
to me,
though.
period, because I
Right.
don't know where it's been.
USPS.
I haven't
Jordans
checked
came
it
from
since
China.
all this happened.
We're wearing them. I got Adidas on. I mean, it's one of those things. But Mel, I appreciate you calling
I mean,
in.
like I said, it's nothing to freak. It's something that's to freak out about. I'm just saying, but it's good. It's good information for people to know actually what's happening, not just listening to Quan on Facebook.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Quan's posts though have been comedy on it though. I've been actually very entertained by the posts. Quan, you got anything to add to that before we
But
let Mel
thank
go?
y'all.
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, Mel, thank
Follow
you
me
so
on
much.
Facebook.
That was Mel.
We
Fair.
miss you,
y'all.
Mel.
We miss you.
We miss you,
Hi.
Mel.
Oh, tell Doreen I
Mom
said
says
hi.
hi.
Tell her I said hi.
Mel, we miss
will.
you.
Yes, we do.
I miss you guys too. I'll make sure I give everybody hugs.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up.
Give Dre a kiss though.
All right.
All right.
Whoa.
And Quan too.
Y'all
Now
have a
that he
good
chimed
one.
in.
All right.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Shout out Melissa Ferris, Girl Chat Sports, co-host extraordinaire. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was a lot of interesting
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
going on that you
yeah.
talked about with golf and everything. But we're gonna move into NBA because it is the NBA season, and I gotta talk about this.
Go Warriors.
Go Warriors. Oh, okay.
Well, they beat Denver
they're not
last
going
night.
in. They sure did. So what is this postseason thing looking like as far as the picture? What are you thinking? But before we get into that, I got to talk really quickly about Spike Lee.
Yes.
My man Spike Lee. And I know Quan played Fight the Power earlier. He's more than welcome to play that again. But Spike had an incident.
Spike had an incident.
He had an incident.
Over at
We talked
MSG.
about
At the
It was
MSG,
deep.
yes. He
Yeah.
had an incident. He had an incident where he had his ticket scanned. He did not go through the VIP entrance because for the past 28 years, as him being a season ticket holder.
Employee entry.
I know, but I'm getting to that. Thank you. As soon as he gets, before I could get into my story, God dang it, D. Mute his mic, Quan, for me, please. Thank you. He instead of going to the VIP entrance, he goes into the employee entrance, which he's been doing for the last 28 years as a season ticket holder. They stop him abruptly and say, "You can't come down here this way. You got to go up, outside, around, down, and in another entrance." He never got the memo. Was told he was never notified. He did, however, say on First Take that they mention him, like he gets a call the minute his tickets to buy his season tickets are a day late. He gets an immediate phone call, but he was never notified about this instance. So a lot of verbal exchanges. I think I saw a video where he was saying that you guys are going to arrest me like Oakley. You're going to treat me, you're going to drag me out here like Oakley. Charles Oakley, that is, because he got dragged out a year ago.
Yikes.
So he did finally make it to his seat. And the owner, Jimmy Dolan, who also owns the Forum in Los Angeles and the MSG Sphere that's coming out here, and Madison Square Garden, approached him and told him, I guess he tried to speak to Spike, and Spike was like, I really don't have nothing to say. I wasn't notified about this new policy change. And Jimmy Dolan's response was, now you know. And I'll walk away.
Yeah, well, you're dealing with Dolan, who is, probably one of, if not the controversial worst owner in all of major sports.
And he's a trust fund baby, so let's just be real. He got his money from his dad, and these are his toys that he's playing with, and this is just a new kind of...
How nice is that?
Yeah, very nice, huh?
I think if to have that type of attitude to a person who is paying...
well over $10 million.
Literally. Mm-hmm. That amount of money, and you have a consumer that is faithfully supporting your team, even though they've been dumpster fire for the past 15 plus years. Why would you treat a consumer like that?
Well, we've seen this scenario happen before when he kicked out a fan who just merely said, maybe you should sell the team.
He's too in his feelings all the time.
He's very thin-skinned.
He's very thin-skinned.
Yes.
I think he owes Spike Lee an apology. And as an owner, I know sometimes we can, and I say we because I have, I own a couple of businesses, but we can kind of get in our thing where we're like, I'm the owner. I don't have to apologize to anybody. But I think in this case, he needs to apologize because Spike Lee has helped the fan base still continue to be a fan base because people love Spike Lee also.
Yeah. Now,
they love his movies.
Right.
They just love him as a person. And when they seeing him so
relevant still.
Yeah.
And they're losing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he is the official Knicks booster. He is the booster club president, I feel like. He's the main one.
Even for you, Mo, when you said that the one fan said sell the team, I can't even really just say that that's exclusive to just the Knicks because it was a guy that he was with his wife. He had a jersey at the Bulls game because, they having a problem with management with Paxton and Gar Farman. He had a jersey that said fire Gar Pax. They escorted him right up out of there. They got him out of there.
So freedom of...
So, yeah.
The narrative is being played out.
So Charles Oakley was on Go Lick and Wingo radio show this morning, and he stated he wasn't surprised. He's also quoted saying that it's a plantation over there.
Yikes.
He went in. Called Dolan a control freak.
That he is.
And is aware that Jimmy Dolan won't sell the team, but he also insinuated that the league should step in and say something and treated Donald Sterling like with the Clippers.
Yeah, but James Dolan money is a lot longer than Sterling.
Absolutely. And like I said, he owns the Forum. And Steve Ballmer is talking about purchasing the Forum. That's another MSG property itself. And I mean, it's just extensive, long money.
I mean,
what's they worth right now?
Which one? The Knicks?
$4.6 billion. That's how much they're for sale for.
Long money. Yeah.
So, number one,
and he owns the facility too. So
if someone was to offer James Dolan right now, today, March 3rd, what's today's date? 6th?
Today's the
March 4th.
4th.
Mm-hmm.
March 4th, $7.3 billion. He wouldn't sell. He will never sell
because he loses his power.
Now he just that just in merchandise alone for New York sports is top 10, top 5.
Oh yeah.
Is Rangers his too?
No, but it's just just New York sports.
That franchise is as expensive as
the
like
Knicks,
the Lakers,
the Knicks,
Chicago. These
like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm not even a Knicks fan.
He has the network too, the MSG network. Is that his?
He's all MSG.
Yeah. If I'm not even a Knicks fan, but I wouldn't. I would spend money on a dope Knicks jersey.
Isn't it the same team that threw Stephon Marbury a bunch of bread and he didn't even play or some crazy stuff? Like
he got into it with Dolan and them too.
Yeah.
And the coach, and they sat him down, and they kind of ruined his career, almost like how they tried to do Carmelo Anthony.
Yikes. Yeah.
And if it's like a plantation, what does that say to people who are Phil Jackson fans?
Look how they did Ewing in the end.
Come on, man.
That was foul.
They still hadn't even offered an opportunity for Mark Jackson to even say no. But you'll go and hire D'Antoni, though, quickly.
Mm-hmm.
See, these are things that people kind of, that Spike Lee knows this, too.
Yeah, he does.
And so to still support that team, even though it is quote unquote phrased from Oakley as a plantation, to still support this team and give them millions of dollars like Spike Lee did. Dolan owes him an apology.
He does. Now, Spike has said he's not going to participate the rest of the season, but he might come back next season. Do you think he should just forgo? I mean, I know he's under contract probably with his
He's
PSL.
not. You know why? Because he loves basketball too much.
He loves the Knicks.
He loves basketball.
Yeah.
If Dolan was going to escort Spike Lee out, it should have been when he started talking crap to Reggie Miller, and Reggie Miller came back in 12 seconds and beat the Knicks down. Then you should have walked him out then.
Right.
Not now.
Yeah. Good point.
Your team is dumpster fire, and I'm still supporting them by giving millions of dollars for seats.
Yeah. Well, now, why couldn't they just preface as seating him this one time and say, just for the future reference?
That should have been done.
That could have been the conversation.
That should have been done.
Instead of
you know what, Spike Lee, I'm going to let you in this time, but we did change the policy, so you may want to reach out to somebody about that policy.
Right.
I'm going to let you in. I'm just saying. It's a conversation. But, when you have employees, and I'm going to just say this, sometimes people are just robots. They just do what you tell them to do. They may see the same people every single day for 28 years, but sometimes they are just yes men. Do this.
That's true.
It's in the memo. I don't care who it is.
That's true.
I had this exact conversation with her. She kept shutting me down.
No, you did not say it like that. Please do not go there. That was not phrased the way you said it.
I didn't articulate it like that.
Well,
but I said
maybe that you need to change your articulation then, because I didn't comprehend it then.
Yeah, because you weren't trying to hear it. I said this.
We argue like this, like we're doggone married or something, and we're not.
I need alimony.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd probably be the
True
one
lies.
I'd probably be the shooter.
What was that one movie, that old school, His and Hers, when they was on TV? They was news anchors or something like that.
Heart to Heart.
Heart to Heart.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Classic.
I got some fun questions to ask you guys later regarding like shows and stuff too.
Okay.
So, moving on, because that was a great point.
Yeah.
We got to talk about these Dallas Mavericks and these Pelicans tonight. And I asked this question because I saw it. Who would you rather start your franchise with, Luka or Zion?
That's a really good question.
I say Luka, just because I know what he has done.
I would say.
But then I don't know what Zion.
I'm gonna say Zion because to me he has more star power. He has more upside, and people want to see a dominant big man just dunk over the entire league. They want to see dominance like that. Although the league has moved into guard heavy and positionless basketball,
right?
Just the energy that Zion brings is electric. And not saying that Luka doesn't bring that same energy. He has a lot of finesse. He can shoot from half court, just like Steph Curry or young loose hair over in Atlanta.
Oh, Trey. Who's talking about? Trey Young?
Trey Young.
Oh, and speaking of Trey Young, did you see what happened with him and Trevor Ariza, right?
Yes.
Because his play now
he didn't want to get
pass
nutmeg.
Trevor
Yeah,
needs
he
to
did.
calm down.
Yeah. Trevor needs to calm down.
But Trevor Ariza is a vet, and you're not going to nutmeg me, G.
Right.
You can do that to all these young dudes, but I don't play them type of
Yeah.
games.
Well,
I got a
that's what it
championship
was.
ring
That's
over
what it
here.
was.
Like,
That's
who
what
you
it
thought I
was.
was?
That's what it was.
For
He
me,
tried it.
I
He tried it.
would say Luka.
You go with Luka?
I would go with Luka all day. I mean, I understand all of the points that you made in regards to Zion, but dude need to trim down for one.
That'll happen.
And then when you come in and you're explosive like that, look at Blake Griffin now.
Very true.
We got a dude out
Very
here that's
true.
a young boy that has almost the same amount of triple doubles as LeBron, and he's young. He's just getting started. That I don't see Zion making other people around him better. Luka's making other people better. Like, they're not even supposed to be where they're at right now, Dallas. Even though they slid a little bit, man, come on, man.
But Dallas is
Portland,
well
Portland, you
coached.
saying
Portland
there's
fell
gonna
out.
be more?
Portland could have easily been where Dallas is right now. Easy. The Kings playing better right now could have easily be right there. We didn't see the Thunder coming, but he made that team that much better. Come on, man. Tim Hardaway Jr., you got name the rest of their starting lineup. And they right there.
Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah.
Trash.
Ooh.
Trash.
Porzingis?
I don't know about that.
Oh, my God.
I don't know about that.
You a 7-footer. You supposed to be able to score.
No, that's not true.
Not all 7-footers can score like that.
That's not true.
The last 7-footer that couldn't score was Will Purdue and Luke Longley.
Well, God rest his soul, Kevin Duckworth is rolling over in his grave.
So
Duckworth
they have a
was
game
a
tonight.
hooper.
I don't know. Is the game on right? Oh, it is on. So it's 22-27 in the second
And real
quarter.
quick, I got
Go ahead,
Porzingis is averaging 19 points a game,
Right.
9 rebounds a game, 1 assist, shooting 42%, 35
How
from
tall is
3.
he?
What
Oops, sorry.
What does that matter?
Only 9 rebounds?
what does that matter?
That does matter. He should be
Why?
averaging a double-double.
So how
Being
many
that big.
7-footers are in the league not averaging 9 rebounds?
You want to look it up?
Yeah, probably about 20 or 30.
Pretty much. I would say
Yeah.
that it's about up there. About
Trash.
20.
He's not trash.
No, there's
Stop
no
it.
way.
Trash.
And he's coming off
Cut
2
it out.
years off
Yeah.
Yeah.
and been balling
out.
this year.
Yeah. And the Knicks should have never got rid of him.
No, they should not have, amongst others.
What did they give up again? To,
Courtney Lee. Come on, man. There's
No.
a bunch of
Yeah, scrubs.
terribleness.
Yeah, but Porzingis, that was a big one. Real quick too, because we also talk about this MVP race, and we know my Lake show had a stellar night last night against Philly, but a lot of the key players weren't playing. Ben Simmons was out, and
a win is a win.
but a win is a
Still
win. We're
would've
gonna
won.
take it. Yeah, we still would have won.
Still would've won.
And LeBron had an epic 36-foot darn near half court shot that was just
In the-
incredible.
At like 8 minutes to go still.
Yes.
It
So-
wasn't like it was like 10 seconds.
So, to your description of all this, do you think? And then he just got the Western Conference Offensive Player of the Month, back to back, 2 months in a row. Do you, with this conversation, do you think that he is going to be the MVP over Giannis?
Well, I don't think that. And I'm a LeBron James guy. I would say right now he has a slight edge over Giannis as an MVP. Being 35 years old and taking this team and still doing all of the things that he
exactly.
did when he first came into the league.
I know.
Still, it looks like he has not lost a step. And to Alvin Gentry's comment, this guy literally, I don't even see why he is not in the conversation of MVP every single year.
Exactly.
That's my argument.
And
Except for last year.
and
He was
he's
hurt.
32.
You take last year away every year.
And he's 32.
Nuts.
Nuts. That makes for a great story. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, because I feel like this whole narrative and granted, I feel like the Bucks might reach that 70 win season.
Right.
Maybe a little over that, but they never closed postseason. They
Well,
should have beat Toronto last
but
season.
I think it's really
They didn't.
close between Antetokounmpo and LeBron James. I think it's really close. But I give the slight edge, like I said, to LeBron James.
I do too.
Hey, Antetokounmpo, you are young. You
Right.
should be light years way better than LeBron. LeBron shouldn't even be in the conversation with you right now, being as young as you are.
But Giannis is number one as far as the defensive player, ranked number one in the league.
Okay, does that
But
equal?
offensively, no. Because LeBron is an all-around player on working on all
And
cylinders.
What is Giannis sacrificing? LeBron's sacrificing and still balling. I would give it to LeBron.
Well, we will see.
Interesting.
Because I
Yeah.
feel like they're making it a determined. Well,
They
media
said he
heads.
passed the most to the Anthony Davis, the most of any player that he played with.
Well, he is.
Does he make
has
Anthony
always,
Davis better?
I
Or is
think
Anthony-
he does.
I think
Yes.
he does too. I think
Anthony
he does too.
Davis was
Yes.
super dope over
Yes.
in New Orleans.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. But he has become a better player because LeBron James is willing to give him the ball every single time if he wants it.
Yeah.
If you cooking, I'm gonna let you cook. And and those of us who are watching the show or play basketball, how many times is it hard that if you're cooking for your teammate to continue to give you the ball? Most of the times, a little bit of that jelly come in and they like, hold on, he cooking. I want to try to get mine now. He does not have that ego when
Right.
it comes to team wins.
Right.
That's what I was saying. He's
So-
sacrificing more.
Yeah.
So Giannis right now is averaging 29 points, 13 rebounds a game. LeBron's right at 25 and 7. He's first in the league in assists, though, LeBron James is. So that definitely makes AD much better.
How do you feel about that comment that James Harden made the other day about
Giannis?
Saying that it's easy to just run up and down the court and just dunk. That doesn't take any skill.
It sounds like James Harden's a hater and a little
I
bitter.
thought the same thing. That was like a hater comment. What do you?
But I think Giannis also did disrespect to a vet to a certain degree. But I think it's also trash talk. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Murphy, you've been quiet over there. What are you thinking?
I mean,
know you
shout
worked
out
out
to my no-name Warriors for winning last night against Denver. You know?
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was a great win.
That was a
great win.
Good game. Yes.
I mean, that's a
yes,
big
yes,
win.
yes,
Your boy
yes.
Anthony Wiggins had 22 points last night.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jordan Poole got
Yeah.
off too.
Canadian came to play that day.
And I'm
Proud
gonna tell
of
you
him.
something. That
Good
Christmas
job.
game you guys had
Fish
against
Gal,
the
what's
Houston
his name?
Rockets.
Listen,
I was
I'm
all about it. I wasn't
Listen, I'm
having no
gonna
problem.
tell you right now. These Warriors right
They won
now.
2 in a row, right?
These young bulls that we got out there right now. These young guys we got out there right now. You know, next season we're gonna be a problem.
I got a question
We
for you.
come back
though.
healthy, we're gonna be a problem.
I got a question for you though. Steve Kerr. You
Yes.
think he's a real coach or no?
I mean,
Interesting.
when you say a real coach, what's
I
your definition
mean-
of? I mean, what are you trying to say
I mean,
here?
I'm putting him on
What's
the
the
level of
parameter?
like.
Speaking of a former coach, I'm a former coach here.
I mean, by the textbook label of coach, by definition,
Does
yes,
he
he's
call
a coach.
X's and
But
O's and
yes,
draw
is
and
he-
draw
is
and
he
draw on the
guy
board?
that is really making stuff happen, or he
Well,
is the
we
guy?
have
Because you have a coaching staff. I
we
get
have
it.
we have a defensive coordinator, an
Right.
offensive coordinator,
Right.
Stop
and a
it.
head coach.
Stop.
This is not
The
football.
head coach is here.
Cover up, right?
The head
That's the
coach
cover
is
up.
here
Yeah,
to
so you're saying
maintain the
he's not a
entire
coach to you.
staff.
Okay,
No,
moving
I'm
on.
saying that
Okay.
I'm saying
Got
that we
you,
are a
man.
great team,
Mm-hmm.
and we are finally getting some rest right now. And I can't wait for my boy Steph's supposed to come back this week, I think it is, and do something. I wish he would sit down for the rest of the season, but he want to shoot the basketball, and run
Well,
down
he
the
was
court.
supposed to play this past Sunday, and they sat him. So
He went down to he went down
the
to our
G
G League
League.
team.
G
for-
League,
he down to
okay.
the G League team,
Okay.
Santa Cruz, did some things down there. But
okay.
Steve Kerr,
That's practice.
you know,
facility.
me personally, and I'm a diehard Warriors fan. I sat through, 43 years of us not doing nothing, right?
Yeah.
I was the one watching Latrell Sprewell
Yeah.
and them boys out there, Danielle Marshall,
Yeah, me too.
way back in the day, Run TMC was
Donald Foyle and all of
Donald
those
Foyle,
dudes.
yeah.
Sarunas
Mullen,
Marcelonis.
when we got to the We Believe team, had my boy Stack out there and everything like that. That was where it was at. But I will say though that I was not a fan of us bringing in Steve Kerr.
Okay.
I wasn't a fan of the exit that Mark Jackson had to have. I'm not a fan of the lack of credit that Mark Jackson gets for the team that we have.
He built
At least our first championship team that he built for us and showed us the blueprint. Steve Kerr definitely just had an ability to just follow the blueprint like any smart man would do. You got the best shooting backcourt in history. Let him shoot.
Did he, or was it a better look for the current Sacramento Kings coach to be your guys' coach?
Interesting.
Luke Walton? No, I don't believe that Luke. No, I'm happy that he's in Sacramento.
Okay.
He needs to
Aaron
be an
Fox
hour
is
and a
the
half, 2 hours away from
I
us.
don't know.
He's doing. He I'm not saying he can't coach. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But I'm
With my
saying
teeth.
that I don't think that he would have been a better coach over Steve Kerr. I think that Coach Kerr is able to bring the men together in the way it's necessary. It's not necessarily all about X. Once you get to the NBA, it's not really about X's and O's anymore. You know how to play. You know strategy.
I would have to agree with him on that.
You need to motivate the team to get them to pull the best out of them. You have to be able to control the emotions of all your players. You need to bring a player up, bring a player down, all in the same conversation, right? You need to calm Draymond down 1 minute and tell Clay to shoot the ball the next minute.
Do you
right?
feel like Draymond's overworked?
Right, this season, absolutely. He should shut it down too.
Yeah. But
You know?
that's the thing with that. I
Talking
have
about
an
with
issue
his triple single that he's averaging.
Jeez.
Wait, he plays every other game though.
Load makes
Well,
it
yeah.
work.
He's hardly played this
Charles
year.
Barkley said that he's averaging a triple single.
Tragic.
It seems to
Charles
me like
Barkley wants a double-double.
it seems-
We're seeing who Draymond is without a cast of
Exactly.
all-stars.
Yeah, he's
That's
trying.
why he signed
Yeah.
that extension instead of trying to get that max. It was a
I
smart
mean,
move.
he's good for the role he plays.
He was
but
going to
he's
lose
Yeah.
money
not-
if he
yeah.
tried to sit out.
okay.
I mean, but I think that Draymond is the heart of my Warriors, though. He's the heart. Without him, we're not the same. Can we win without him? Probably, for sure we could. But he the fans love him. We like when he gets mad and gets emotional and that kind of stuff. We don't like it at Game 5 or Game 6, of championships, that kind of stuff like that. But he was baited. We know that the league tried him. We're not gonna go there. It should have been a championship right there for us. I'm still hurt to this
What
day
about
that
this
one.
though? Going back to Giannis, do you think that they're gonna go after that in the offseason? Because y'all gonna have y'all got
That's been
Wiggins.
rumored.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna have a high draft pick.
Here's the deal. Here's the
You
deal.
got some picks.
We would be silly to not look at that option because you have to look at the team. You have to look at the future right now.
Very true.
We're trying to. Steph and Clay are only getting older, right? They're both coming off significant injuries right now, so we really don't know how they're going to come back. We're assuming Clay's going to come back great. We're assuming Steph's going to come back great. We're assuming Draymond's going to have enough energy for next year. We're assuming that, but if you got one of the top 2 or 3 players in the league available to you in Giannis, we would be silly. That's like us saying we don't need KD back when we got KD just because we just won a championship. Yeah, we may have just been right there, but we still wanted KD to get even better.
Yeah,
we want to dominate even harder. Come on now, we're trying to step on people's necks. We want to show to the world because the world's forgotten that the Warriors are so dominant.
I don't think they've forgotten.
I think they have.
They'll be top 4 in the West next year.
I'm just ready for next season.
They're
done winning chips.
Yeah, you think they're done?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Do you think the next
step on next?
Who do you think? Well, they're the most hated.
Short-term memory.
Who do you think? You think it's a tenure for the Lakers again to do another dynasty run?
I don't think there's any dynasties right now.
I think it's going to really
go back and forth.
I think it's going to go back and forth.
It's going to go back and forth.
Whether it be 2 on the West, 1 on the East.
A little bit of parity out there.
Yeah. And I think that's what the league needs to be right now. We don't
agree
need
with that.
right now.
Yeah.
We don't need another
back to back.
I
think that's over with.
We need more diversity when it comes to teams actually surprising you and winning a chip like the Toronto Raptors last year.
Yeah.
Nobody picked them to come out of the East but me. But me to come out of the East and actually to win it against a Golden State Warrior team who did come in a little hobbled, but at the end of the day, they did what they were supposed to do. They seen a team coming in that was injured and hurt and bleeding, and they pounced on them as they should.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, shout out to Toronto for still being as good as they are right now.
Yes. Oh, I know.
Yes.
I mean,
can you imagine if they still had Kawhi Leonard? They would be number 1 in the East right now over the Bucks, and I think they would be the closest nemesis.
That 73 record would be over.
Was it 16?
He would have only played 20 more games, so.
What was that win streak they hit? 16, 17?
Because regular
play a lot
season,
last
the Bucks
year
were
either.
number 1 last season.
He played 50
Let's
last
be real.
year.
Kawhi Leonard didn't play a lot.
He
played 50 games last
He's a playoff.
Kawhi missed 22 or 23 games last year?
He played 50 games, so he missed 32.
Yeah.
For his load management. Okay.
Well, they said he was coming off injury. With
But
the
Toronto,
trades,
2 years ago, Toronto had the best record in the league. So they did that without Kawhi 2 years ago.
Who had the longest streak? Was it
this year?
The Lakers or the Raptors?
As far as what?
The longest win streak? Because
I know
Toronto had like about 16 in a row.
They had a big game,
17
a long
in a row.
winning streak.
Yeah,
Milwaukee's had.
It might have been. You know what?
It was Milwaukee.
Because their streak just got broken.
No, I'm talking about the one early. They was on.
But I mean,
By the Heat.
Milwaukee's still 9.5 over Toronto for first, so they already got locked in.
What, he had 9 losses right now?
Yeah, 9, 53-9.
The Heat is my sleeper to come out of the East.
Really?
And I think it's Quan's too.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Pat Riley, Sneaky Pat, has those guys. He has the right guys playing hard for him. And if you look at some of those acquisitions that they got in Iguodala and Crowder, just some toughness along to go with Jimmy Buckets.
Yeah.
And Dragic.
He needed it too.
That Miami team is dangerous.
He needed it too.
Dangerous.
And Shaq had to find out the hard way with the Brazilian.
Oh, that hairline.
The bet he lost to Dwayne Wade with
tragic.
It is. And he said he wanted to keep it all year round. Then he tried to say on Instagram that it was his hair, and he swiped it, and then you saw the dye on his finger. First of all, your hair doesn't grow that fast in a day. Let's keep it a buck. To have a shadow like that, freshly lined in the mid-top part of your head. Yeah, pretty much.
Yikes.
Pretty much. That was terrible.
I thought it was funny, though.
I thought it was hilarious, too. Shout out to him.
Real quick, though, so you brought up Miami. I mean, and you said Riley. So are we in agreement that Spoelstra's not a real coach either?
No. And we talked.
I mean, I'm just saying. You said Riley. You didn't say Coach Spoelstra had him playing well.
Let me go ahead and rephrase what I said yesterday. Well, not rephrase, but I'll tell you exactly what I said yesterday on Let the Ball Bounce Sports Talk Radio Show. I said
every
that
Tuesday, 6 p.m. West
Yes.
Coast time right here on
Yes,
Gorilla
yes,
Cross
Gorilla
Radio.
Cross. Yes. Shameless plug.
Download the app.
I said yesterday that Coach Spo does not get enough credit. The guy goes in every year, should be in the conversation of Coach of the Year, of what he's dealing with not a lot of star power in Miami, but he has those guys playing hard. When they had the super team over in Miami and they lost that first year, they were on his neck. But he is an actually great coach. He's been in the film room for over 17 years.
Oh, yeah, that's how you learn how to coach.
Pat Riley
being a GM.
as long as he is alive, will not get rid of
course not.
Spo, because that is the best coach for that organization.
Yeah.
Spo's my guy. I love Spo.
I see how you lit up like a Christmas
Spo's
tree.
my guy. So, with that being said, the reason I said Pat Riley is because he's the puppet master.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy that will go out and get these blue-collar, hard-working NBA guys that other teams don't want, like a Jimmy Buckets. And we all owe Jimmy Butler an apology, because when he went over to 76ers, we all said that Jimmy Buckets, nobody can play with him. His attitude is bad. He's going to poison that team, blah, blah, blah. But look at what he's doing over in Miami.
Yeah. No.
He wanted to be there, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
I
the
agree
thing,
with
too.
you on Coach Spoelstra. Well, so going back to what you asked earlier, so Coach Spoelstra or Steve Kerr, who's the real coach?
Coach Spoelstra all day.
Yes.
But
Thank
why?
you. I agree.
But why?
His X's and O's.
Yeah.
His attention to detail. His subbing. His knowing how to manage the
With
game
the few
with
talent-
the
without
few
talent
on
that
his
he
team.
has.
Because I have simply watched the Golden State Warriors, and this is no knock.
Without Steve Kerr,
Yes,
off
and
of his back injury, doing the same consistent thing, having stars. Sorry to cut you off.
No,
I'm passionate about this too.
and I've seen Steve Kerr tell his team, "You guys go ahead and coach yourselves."
So, yeah.
We were winning.
Still got to coach,
Coach.
bro.
But real quick,
There's different types of
Miami
coaching.
doesn't have a sorry team. So you,
No,
they're not.
But I'm
But
saying-
there's plenty of talent.
you said Spoelstra with minimal talent.
Well, he
They're a
got Jimmy
talented
Buckets,
team.
and then who else?
Bam Adebayo, who was an all-star.
Okay, that's
a lot
new.
of other players.
That's new.
Previous to that.
Duncan,
previous to that.
a rookie.
And before the
Leonard, Miles Leonard, come
the big
over
three
from
men.
Dragic
Portland.
has been a solid point guard forever in the NBA.
Dragic,
He's been
this
solid
year,
forever,
this
bro.
year,
Yeah.
bros, Dragic is just now starting to play a lot better. Last year was injury riddled, and the year before that, he
That
didn't
dude
play
was one
good.
of the most coveted free agent point guards for a
He
while.
was, but for the past. But for the past 2 years, he hasn't been playing up to what we've known to see Dragic play
But he's still been balling.
this year. And I give him that, because now it's all coming together. But what I'm saying is, this team doesn't have a 3-star.
Yeah, but you can't get mad at Steve Kerr for having 3 stars and winning
No,
with them, though. You
I'm
know what I'm
not.
saying?
No,
So,
it's not
but
that
I
I'm
don't
not
think you
mad,
can
but I
compare.
also see-
You can't compare like he's a good coach and he's not because he had 3 stars. Because right now he's been winning some games with the G League team.
Who?
Steve Kerr.
Some games. Yeah, they only got,
yeah.
9, 10,
Yeah.
11 wins?
They got like 12 or 13, but still the
We have
fact
14
is,
they got
wins to
14.
be exact.
I think
14.
yeah, 14.
Yeah, 14.
But the fact is,
When last time
a lot
Spoelstra
of
had
these
14
players.
wins?
Is it 2 in a row?
Name 5 active players on the Warriors.
He's in the East too.
Fish.
Different.
How you say his name? Fishcow?
Pascal.
Pascal.
Siak,
Jordan Poole.
Draymond.
Lee. You got Lee. No, I want to give the other dudes.
Oh, the other dudes. Okay.
Yeah,
love.
Damian Lee.
They got
Yeah.
Dragon Bender now. You got Wiggins. They
Has
got-
Wiggins
they got-
been?
Yeah, he's been playing.
Yeah, he had 22 points
He played
last
late.
night.
He played last night. He balled out last
He had
night.
22
You said
points
five,
last
right?
night.
Don't hear.
Quan, you said
don't
5,
hear.
right? I gave you 5.
Don't usually hear that.
That was
Hey, you
fine.
said active. You ain't say started. You just said active. Player.
Kevon Looney.
Kevon
No,
Looney.
no. He injured. He's not active right now.
Well, he must have just got injured.
Last couple of games, he
Okay.
hasn't played.
Well,
so
he's
yeah.
been, he's.
So then, do we throw Tim Duncan in the conversation because he was acting coach last night for the Spurs?
Okay.
And what do we think of that? Because he did admit that he really wasn't coaching; that he was just kind of.
Yeah, and I like the
Yeah,
fact.
that's
I
upset.
like
He
the
was
fact.
managing the game.
Yeah, and I like the fact that he was
'cause it was
candid and he
Becky
was honest
Hammond,
about
It
it.
was,
Yeah, Becky.
shout out to Becky, and all of them kind of doing a collaborative type of coaching.
Yeah.
Do you see him in the future? Because when Pop got kicked out of the game back in November, he appointed him to take over and be.
And it was the same situation. Him and Becky.
I think the NBA needs a Tim Duncan, his personality. Okay. We've been so used to seeing Tim Duncan being quiet, really just really silent when it comes to basketball, but he is highly in the conversation as probably the best power forward of all time, right? And we just have not seen a lot of personality from here. I think last night was the first time that I actually enjoyed to see Tim Duncan with a little bit of personality, and I was like, whoa, I think this dude would be pretty good. Yeah. And so I would say yes. I think the NBA needs that.
All right.
Kind of like the same thing with Kobe. You know, Kobe had a domineering type of personality when he played, and then when he got done playing, we saw another side of Kobe Bryant outside of basketball, and I think that's what fans who weren't his fans needed to see, and that's what the NBA needed to see, and I think that's what his family and his kids needed to see, was that he was going to dedicate his time towards the youth and giving back. And so I think the NBA needs to see Tim Duncan involved.
Well, we are about to wrap up our show. I thank Dre Bailey from Let the Ball Bounce for coming on to be a gracious co-host with me. We had great talk. I thank Kendall Murphy over here for being such a great host. I thank Dee for coming in and joining us on our chat. So it's like Girl Chat with Guys Sports.
Yes.
Maybe that'll be my new thing.
Well, thank you for having me.
Shout out also real quick to Cynthia Scent Marshall, the current CEO, first black female CEO of the Dallas Mavericks, who was also the first cheerleader for Berkeley. She attended college.
Nice.
So shout out to her on our Girl Power. Shout out to Mel for calling in. Shout out to everybody that tuned in tonight. Kendall Murphy, is there a social media where people can follow you?
At K Murphy PGA.
And that's on
everything, all social media platforms.
Okay. And Dre, where can they find you?
Let the Ball Bounce at Sports Talk. Let the Ball Bounce Sports Talk Radio on all social media platforms.
And that's Let the Ball Bounce with one T.
That's on Twitter.
On Twitter.
We're on Twitter. Let the Ball bounce, and that's with one T, man.
And D, we could just find you behind your center shades, or where can they find you here?
Sunglass Hut at every mall.
It's D_the vegan.
Okay.
Instagram.
So we'll have to have D back on to talk to us about his vegan lifestyle here.
Vegan.
Okay.
Yes.
Just have some pizza.
You've been over to Simply Pure with my girl Stacey Dugan over there.
He has not. I've been telling him.
Yeah, you got to go down
He's got to go. That's a staple.
Try the vegan nachos, bro.
That's a staple. Well, we're out of here, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know where to find me. You know where to find Mel up in Seattle. And we out.